And welcome back to Lantern Corps. Today's Lantern Corps comes to us, and I'm going to try to get this name right. Casper Johansson, I think that's the right one, who asked the question, what Lantern Corps does Gandalf belong in? Gandalf the Grey, Gandalf the White, it's all the same. This is a character that runs a lot of, runs his paces through the Lantern Ring cycle, because there's actually, I think, 5 legitimate candidates for him to be a part of. Now, I'm going to get a couple ones right out of the way right now. I'm going to get 2 out of the way, and then we'll go into a couple. He's not a Red Lantern. Rage is clearly not a motivator. This guy can get angry. We've seen it. Do not take me as some simple charlatan or thief. Yeah, he can clearly get angry, but it's not the thing that motivates or drives him. So I do not see him being a Red Lantern. Unfortunately, though, I don't see him being a Yellow Lantern either. Now, Yellow certainly is a better shot than Red, as he definitely is someone with a reputation, and being a wizard, he can, be intimidating because of that. But it's not something that carries over quite a bit. It's not like he shows up at the Battle of the Five Armies, and people are like, "Oh shit, it's Gandalf!" No, it's just like he's a powerful aid to their side. There are certain individuals like Wormtongue, for instance, who are scared of him, but the Wormtongue's pretty much just it's in his name. He's a little Wormtongue. He's a little scaredy guy. So no, fear's not one. Let's get an obvious one right out of the way right now. I do believe that the Lantern Corps of Will is a solid candidate for Gandalf. Strong willpower and the ability to overcome great fear. He's done both. We've seen him do that. So yeah, he stood toe to toe with Sauron for a little bit. So I think it's very possible he could be a Green Lantern. Absolutely. But now we get into some of the ones that are a bit more off the beaten path. While he's definitely got the willpower, he's also I guess we're going to talk about life instead. I meant to go with the other one, but oh well. He's also, I think, a candidate for life. Like Gandalf, among the wizards particularly, except for Radagast. Radagast would actually even be a better option than him for this. He kind of signifies, he turned into Gandalf the White. There you go. No, but he signifies the protection of life in the living and everyone in Middle-earth, to the point where he came back from the dead to, help preserve and save Middle-earth. I think he does kind of personify life a little bit. He really does. He has a very good fondness for animals, not the level of Radagast, which is why Radagast I think would be a better option for White, but either way. So the next one up on the list was the one I was initially trying to go with here, is Hope. I think he personifies Hope maybe a bit more than even Will, because he's kind of the anchor for the group for the first, up until he falls down, dies from the Balrog. And everyone is just gut checked. Everyone is just completely thrown off their game when Gandalf's got it. Even Boromir's like, give them a moment to mourn. Even Boromir's like, let them mourn for a moment. Come on, we just lost Gandalf. Gandalf, I think, really is like a glue that kind of held the Fellowship together to some degree. And he gave them hope when there was no hope. And what happened when they found out Gandalf was like, Gandalf? They had hope again. I think Gandalf is actually a very good personifier of hope, and he almost never lost faith in fact, he never lost faith in Frodo. Despite the fact that, he saw a lot of, things coming in the future. He never lost his faith in Frodo. And I think that puts Hope as a really solid candidate. 2 of the other ones that he would not belong to, I don't think. Love, because he just doesn't have any, he has love for Frodo, obviously, and like a familial love. But it's not what motivates him, no. Love for Middle-earth, I guess. It's implied he actually had a relationship with Galadriel. Or at least from the movies it was. Or at least they had a very close relationship, whether it be romantic or not. I don't know. I just don't see love working. You want to try to make an argument? There's Potterheads, there's Trekkies. What do you call Lord of the Ring fans? Ring rates? Or my little hobbits out there? Any of you hobbits out there? Any of you rates out there? Rangers? Any dwarven, elven warriors out there know more about the lore of Gandalf than me? Let me know, and if love fits, okay. But the other one, I think this one, I think anyone can figure out Gandalf doesn't really qualify for is greed. Gandalf, when Frodo offered him the ring, he outright rejected it because he didn't want to be corrupted. But now that's the thing. If Gandalf were to be given the one ring and just wore that bad boy, oh, he'd become an Orange Lantern. Like if we ever do Smeagol / Gollum, I think Orange is a very legit option for him. But Gandalf's like, no, through me, no, I don't want it, no, because I know what's going to do to me. Gandalf is not a greedy person. He just wants what's good for everyone. He just wants peace and all that. So I can't say greed either. The last two to talk about, we already talked about life, but because we know he died, we got to talk about death. First off, he's killed a lot of people. Like Gandalf has quite the body count. He even slayed a Balrog. That's impressive. But more importantly, he died and he came back. This ultimately is, a perfect example of a Lantern of Death. Now, does he embody death? I'll put it this way. When I get to the end, we'll talk about more death, but I think there's a reason he can't be a Death Lantern, and I'll say this I'll mention that in a little bit. But last one, and I think this is another really big contender here for his ring, is compassion. Gandalf is a man who shows nothing but compassion. Granted, he does trick. Okay. He does have a lot of compassion for Bilbo. But let's not mince words. He did Bilbo kind of dirty when he just invited a rowdy group of dwarves into his house, completely cleaned out all of his food, as Bilbo said, nearly backed up the plumbing. Dear Lord. And just, invaded his house. Like, seriously, Gandalf, that was a dick thing to do. But he has nothing but ultimately compassion for, his fellow man, for Aragorn, for Legolas or Gimli, particularly for Frodo, Bilbo. He cares very much for them. Gandalf is a man of compassion. I think we see this time and time again. Not just compassion for these individuals, but compassion for all of Middle-earth. Because why do you think he led Oakenshield to the Lonely Mountain to get the Arkenstone and confront Smaug? Because he was fearful of what someone like Sauron could do with Smaug if Smaug were to align himself with him. So yeah, I think compassion is a very legit Lantern Corps that you could be a part of. Now, which of these 5 will it be? Which of these 5 will it be? I'm trying to do something here. What was I trying to do? Maybe it's because I have a full 5 this time. I can't do it. Will it be compassion? Will it be death? Will it be hope? Will it be life? Or will it be will? Vote now. Okay, your votes are in. So when I have a scenario like this pop up, where there's this many options, I first have to think, are there any Lantern Corps that just overpower the others? And right from the gate, I actually can't see a huge amount of them overpowering them. Although, if I were to be a betting man, I would say the Life Lantern Corps and the Death Lantern Corps are probably overridden by compassion, hope, and will. The reason for that is White is definitely on the loosest side, I think, of all of them. And that is mostly just because besides his protecting of life is also tied with his compassion and will. Like, I don't see White beyond the basics, live your life, feel alive, all that kind of stuff, working in his favor. Death is one where it's a bit more difficult, but that leads me into the second route I go when trying to figure these things out. If the remaining rings, all 4 remaining rings, a death, a black ring, a green ring, a blue ring, and a indigo ring, were to suddenly appear in front of Gandalf, and this is where the user of the ring, the recipient of the ring, actually plays a factor in this. Gandalf is so old and has been around for so long and has sensed a lot of evil, he would know immediately not to go for a Black Lantern ring. It's like, nope. Which leads us now to compassion, hope, and will. Compassion is a tricky one because compassion is actually a parasitic ring that wipes out your personality. But would Gandalf be able to sense that ill intent? Like, Gandalf would be able to feel probably the aspect of death coming off of the Black Lantern ring. I have no doubt about that. But would he be able to feel the aspect of compassion and being, it being, parasitic? I don't think so, because I don't think that kind of radiates off the ring. So I will probably say I'd narrow it down to Will coming into third place. The reason for that is I think the fact that how much hope he had ultimately, I think and how much faith he kept in his friends and Frodo, and how much faith people, how much of a beacon of hope he kind of represented himself. I think that overwhelms the Will just a bit. I actually think his compassion outweighs his will. I actually do. Because we've seen points where he's kind of given up or looks like he's kind of just thrown in a towel a little bit. I sent them to the deaths. So if a blue lantern ring and a lantern ring of compassion were to immediately come towards Gandalf, which one ultimately wins out? I'm going to tentatively say compassion. And the reason I'm going to say compassion is because there have been a few moments where Gandalf's faith, hope, whatever it is, seems to have wavered a bit. Add on to the fact that while he is a beacon of hope, and he definitely was able to bolster morale when he came back, after that he kind of just was there. I mean, don't get me wrong. He came over the hill with the other warriors in the Battle of Rohan. So I was like, that was pretty epic. And so he's again inspiring hope, but it seems to be here or there. Like Gandalf himself is not the winning factor of the fight, obviously. So because of that, I think I'm going to go with compassion. Like he never lost his compassion is the thing. So weirdly enough, Gandalf for me comes off, and I don't get many lanterns of compassion on when I do this video. I think compassion, I meant to be right here. I think compassion is probably Gandalf's Lantern Corps, in my opinion. Now, I could be dead wrong on this. It is just my opinion. If you think I am dead wrong, that's cool. We can all be dead wrong together. Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Hit that bell if you want to be notified. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.